All right. So we are going to be starting right away. So some of our people, they are joining in. They are joining in. They are joining in. So in the next 2-3 minutes, we're going to start up. All right. So it's going to be a wonderful call, and just in 2 minutes, we're going to start up. All right. So let's just get people to get into the call. Let's alert people that we are live. We are live. We are live. We are ready to go. We are ready to go. Sarah, are you ready?
Of course, I am ready. Let's do it.
Good to have you. Good to have
Thank
you.
you.
Good to have you. Good to have you. Okay. All right. So today is going to be a wonderful call. Today is going to be one of a kind call. We are going to be dealing with one of the epidemics that we don't really know so much about. And we have somebody who is going to be helping us deal with that today in the person of Serap. Serap is a nutritionist and is one of the best hands when it comes to nutrition. She's really passionate about Africa. She has been here several times, and she believes in Africa. She believes that we have what it takes to heal ourselves. And I'm going to be working with my team today. Mrs. Lawson, the IT, and Joy. These are the guys we are working with together to make sure that this is going to be a wonderful one. So as we wait for people to join on the call, thank you. I see you, Timmy. I see you, Fisayo. I see you. Mr. Williams, thank you for coming on the call. Mr. Igwe, thank you for coming on the call. So we are going to have a lot of people joining us on this call today, and I wish everyone can join at the same time so that we don't want to miss out on anything, because I can assure you that this is one of the cases. I met a lady who's going to be coming on the call today to share some testimony. She didn't know that her blood was less than 13% when she walked into a hospital, right? Now, the doctor was asking her, how manage you are still alive? How manage you are still alive? Because some of these things, if we are not well educated on the signs and the symptoms, you can actually get yourself in a big mess. And that is why it is very important that you pay attention to your health, right? This lady finally spent over 9 million. You know, this is a case of someone who doesn't know much about her state of health. And that is why we are committed to educating Nigerian families on the power of their food. This is something I'm highly, highly, highly passionate about. I am highly, highly passionate about it. I came into this system, Heal Yourself Africa, because I found out that food has the capacity to heal us. I watched my grandmother die of high blood pressure. And this is something that could have been prevented if something was done about it on time. And I want to assure you that the information you're going to be getting today is going to change your life. All right. So a lot of people are joining us on this call today from all walks of life. I can assure you that it's going to worth your time. All right. So, IT, are you ready?
Yes, we are.
All right. So I'm going to be introducing our speaker today, who is going to be taking us on this talk today, because there's no time to waste. She's a nutritionist, and she's a kinesiologist, and she's into, we sent out her profile to every one of us for us to know what she is into. So Dr. Sarah Daniel is a nutritionist, and she's a yoga teacher and a brain management consultant. Sarah Benzema is a UK-based nutritionist who is originally from Turkey, but has done research on using Nigerian food to fight lifestyle. So we are not just bringing her on the call, we are bringing someone who has been to Africa, who has been to Lagos, Nigeria several times. Is a woman I've worked with over the years, over 6 years now. I've worked with her, and I've seen her use food to transform lives in Africa. And that is why we are bringing her on the call today. So she's going to be telling us how food can actually help improve and he's going to be sensitizing us on the power of food in correcting some of these epidemics that are on the increase in today's society. So she has conducted over 8 years research in Nigeria on using Nigerian food to fight against lifestyle diseases. Her expertise is in using plant-based diet to prevent and fight lifestyle diseases. All right, and this cannot be overemphasized. So we are, without any further ado, I want to welcome Sarah on the call. Dr. Sarah, are you there? Thank you. Can you just go on the chat and just give us some love on the chat box, please? Send us some chats, just some emojis and just let her feel love. You're welcome, Sarah. Over to you.
Yes. Hello. Good evening, Nigeria, Lagos, wherever you are. Actually, I've been to a few cities in Nigeria. Can I give some examples? I've been in Lagos, Abuja, Jos. Oh my God, where are the other places I've been to? Yeah, there are a few places I already been. And the introduction was very powerful. Thank you so much, Hero Lawson, for this, because I am really passionate about food as medicine. As you know, I am talking to you. You are in Nigeria. That's why I will relate everything to your lifestyle, your diet. That's why I am here to talk to you, to understand your language, basically, because I'm not going to bring anything from the UK, America, or Turkey. So I don't have to introduce myself. So you already heard about me. If you want to learn more about what I do, you can connect with me via also Heal Yourself Africa platform. So the topic we are going to cover today is the very interesting topic. The reason is most of the people approach me mainly for lifestyle diseases, because these are like a common lifestyle diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, heart disease, cancer, or the digestive problem. And the thing is, maybe people don't really take care, like they are not really noticing exactly what's happening in our health until actually they end up going to the hospital. Like I think there will be somebody who is going to share the testimonials. So that's why we are helping people to prevent and reverse lifestyle diseases, understanding the food as medicine. So today's topic, as you know, is about anemia. So most of the people think about the anemia is like a deficiency of iron. It is actually more than that. Reason is, if you really understand the symptoms of it, you can take care of yourself using the food as medicine, which is actually available already in Nigeria. So that's why I'm going to start talking about the different types of the anemias. So I think we have a slide, I believe, if we can start the first one. So I will start talking about different types of the anemia, but I think there are some of them are very specific ones. But how we actually help people with the deficiencies, I will cover with the food as medicine in the end. And if you have any questions while I am talking, you can write down and share it with us on the platform. I will answer your questions in the end. So the first one is the very common one due to vitamin B12 deficiency. So this is, some people might be thinking, okay, I am not really eating enough animal products. That's why I am getting deficient. But of course, some also plant-based food we have is also currently have B12 in it. Or if you are concerned, if it's not enough from the food, we also give people supplement for a while, like 1 to 2 months, to increase it in your system. And other one is the folic acid. The folic acid is widely common in the green leafy vegetables. So you currently have it in Nigeria. I give you example of like a ugu, water leaf, utazi, and then anything actually like a pumpkin leaf. Whatever you grow, it comes with the leaf. So if you really use them, they can actually provide you as a folic acid as well. And the folic acid you can also find in some of the grains and the bean group, like beans and lentils. So I will cover them later a bit more. And then this is the most common one, is the due to iron deficiency. So when you do the blood test, it can actually show more of the you are very you have the low iron. So that's why people actually have the weakness, feeling dizzy, have a pale on their face. These are some of the symptoms, and also confusion, like a lack of concentration. These are the things also people might have. But I will cover it. And then iron deficiency could be due to heavy menstrual cycles, maybe pregnancy, and also some of the operations like the stomach and the intestine removal, that kind of things. I'm just giving some examples, but I cover it later as well. And anemia of chronic diseases. This is some kind of autoimmune diseases people might have. Like, for example, people might have celiac disease, which is they can't really tolerate the gluten. So this is actually causing autoimmune disorder in the system. And then other ones are more specific one, hemolytic anemia. And these can be more kind of identified by some of the tests as well. The rest of the things I'm going to cover. Idiopathic aplastic anemia, megaplastic anemia, pernicious anemia, and sickle cell anemia. Okay, these are the things I can't even pronounce, because this is like something not very common, very specific anemia. It can be found more like a specific test. So I will cover the symptoms. If you have some of them, when you go to the doctors, they will go through some of the tests with you, not just blood tests. Then they can find out more specific things for you. And just some information I am actually covering right now. I wanted to make it more simple because we don't have enough time. Let's go and talk about what is the anemia. So how we can actually find out what the anemia is. So can we put the next slide, please? Okay. So now our body has got three types of a blood responsible in our system. The one is the red blood cell, other one is platelet, and the other one is the white blood cell. So white blood cell is responsible for infection, fighting with the infection, which is generally for the immune system. And platelet is responsible for the kind of like a helping for the blood clot and the wound healing. And the red blood cell is the one is the causing the anemia if we have less of it. So as you can see, there are two different pictures here. The first one is showing normal, and the other one is showing less, like people who already have anemia. So this is like a blood count. So when you go through some tests, so the doctor will find out how much red blood cells. So red blood cells are the responsible carrying the oxygen from the lungs and distribute to cells and the tissues. And then they're also getting the they are getting the carbon dioxide from the lungs. from the tissues through the lungs. That's why you are getting, when you inhale, you get oxygen. When you exhale, you get rid of the carbohydrate from your system. So this is actually the red blood cells. Is the color comes from the, we call it hemoglobin, gives the color of the red. So this is actually protein in the red blood cells. So what happens when they count the red blood cells, if it's not enough? I give you an example how it's measured. So the level is, if it's less than 13.5 for men, which is like a 100 ml, which shows that you have anemia. But for women, it is more 12 grams, which is still about 100 ml. It shows you have also anemia. You don't have enough red blood cells. That actually shows as well how you can measure and understand you have the anemia. But how would you also measure yourself before you go to the doctor with the symptoms? Let me tell you what the symptoms are, so you can monitor yourself as well before it gets too late. That's why we are always here to help people to understand the prevention is better than cure. I would like people to really understand any of the symptoms you have, you should really get your blood test level, and just to see how much red blood cells you currently have in your body before you really hospitalize, basically. And one of the symptoms of anemia is respiratory. So it is like if you have a shortness of breath. Okay, some people might be saying, okay, when I go up to the stairs or when I walk a bit, so I kind of have like a short of breath. So this can be also underlying of a high blood pressure. Some people who have high blood pressure, they have also these symptoms as well. So this is one of them. You bury of your mind. So if you have something like this, it could be the reason. But if you have this, you don't have to say to yourself, oh, I am anemic. So there are other reasons also you can check. The second one is the most common, is the feeling so tired. We call it fatigue. Feeling like fainting and dizzy, maybe during the day. So which shows more of the like you don't have enough energy even when you wake up. Even you slept maybe 8 hours, 9 hours, but you still feel like you can't get out of the bed. You probably have this feeling as well. And this could be the other reason. And one of the thing is actually in more in common than men. Sorry, more common in women than men. Reason is because of the pregnancy and heavy menstrual cycle of women. When they have this later in their life, they might have this problem as well. And other thing is about heart attack. And again, what I said, red blood cells responsible carrying oxygen around the cells and the tissue via heart. If this one is not enough, like if you are not carrying enough red blood cells, the oxygen around your heart can't pump enough oxygen to go around the cells. That will make it weak. So that could cause also kind of heart attack as well. This is one of the also symptoms people might get. Digestion. So what I mentioned earlier, if you have problem in your stomach and intestines, so it would cause some problem in your digestion. You can only understand the problem if you have any anemia is the change in the stool color. So stool color can be a little bit more pale, not enough like, again, blood going around those stomach and the intestines as well. And spleen. One of the thing, of course, you can't really check yourself, is the enlargement of your spleen, spleen is just like under the pancreas. It is not really kind of like well-known organ in the body, but this is also very important for the blood. It's like a restoring the blood as well. So if it becomes enlargement, so this is one of the symptoms for the anemia as well. And other thing is muscle pain and soreness. So whether you are doing any exercise or you don't do any exercise, you might get some of the muscle pain as well. This is one of the also symptoms is showing. It's like a feeling weak, and that's why I think it is causing the more pain in the body as well, in the muscles and skin. So you might have like a pale skin, like a yellowish skin, so which shows also, even you can see it maybe in the eyes area. If your eyes are not clear as well, it could be one of the symptoms of the anemia. So I hope you are actually making notes of it. So please check yourself, or if you suspect maybe 2-3 of them you currently have, please just go to a doctor and get your blood test checked. So then you will find out what's happening as well. It could be very like a simple one, could be a little bit of beginning of the iron deficiency. So you can heal it easily with the food. I'm going to now talk about the food. So the chart you are seeing, it is very kind of like a in general food, but I will tell you more about what you can find in Nigeria and how you can actually use your Nigerian food as medicine if you want to prevent and reverse anemia. So as you can see, this is like a broccoli there. Broccoli is not really common, but when I travel Jos, they grow broccoli. So if you can actually get the things more locally grown vegetables rather than from the supermarket, this is going to be better medicine for you. Reason is when you buy the things from the supermarket, because they already traveled from the other countries. I give example, when I came to Nigeria, I checked the supermarket and most of the fruits and vegetables came from like South Africa, which is further from Nigeria, and they are not really ripe. And also, unfortunately, there was already radiation because of the travel. When you buy them, you pay more money, less nutrition. So that's why I always ask people, find the alternative way of getting your food grown already in Nigeria rather than travel. And the pumpkin seed here, I know you already grow pumpkin seeds, and the pumpkin seeds, when you grow it, there is a leaf on top, and you can have it also one of your kind of like a folic acid. This is also good for the anemia. Don't worry about bok choy. It's more kind of like a Chinese vegetable. You can use the ugu or utazi or whatever the green leafy vegetables currently have. By the way, I traveled quite a lot of countries, but I know Nigeria has got the kind of like more green leafy vegetables is growing in your country, basically. Because other countries, we don't really have that much variety, but you have a wide range of variety already in Nigeria. Please make the most of it. By the way, I'm just going to say how you prepare and cook your vegetables is also important. I know most of the people get rid of the folic acid or the iron from the green leafy vegetables or any fruits by boiling it and throwing the water into the sink. Unfortunately, your sink is getting the iron and folic acid. You are getting nothing. This is really serious thing happening. I know the way people are preparing and cooking their food. Please, 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 always understand food as medicine. You can still have your cooked food. You don't have to eat everything raw if you want to get the nutrients. But and again, heal yourself. Africa platform will help you how to prepare and cook your food, turn into medicine as well. So they will help you with that. Don't worry about the figs. In this group, you can have, for example, dates. So you have dates already grown in Nigeria, so you can have it instead of figs. The sprout is also not very common, but to be honest with you, sprouting is not very difficult to do. You need to really learn how to do it. Maybe we will cover it another time. Because sprouting means you get the seeds of the vegetables and you grow it. For example, chickpeas or any beans. So when you put water, maybe you've done it when you were at school. So when you cover it with some damp kind of cloth and then water it, so those beans or lentils start sprouting. So sprouting means you will get the nutrients even more than the beans or lentils itself, basically. It's like a more live food you are eating. So maybe we can cover this more another time. Actually, maybe we can give you recipes. You see kale. So kale is like similar to your again water leaf. I know kale you can find in supermarket. As I told you, please find the alternative like a way of getting it in Nigeria, grown in Nigeria. Hemp seeds. This is an alternative seed. This is a little bit more expensive. I don't always recommend people if you can't, because I know in Nigeria, alternative seeds and nuts can be more expensive because I know it. I did my study. So it is not necessary. Instead of having this, you can have the pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds, sesame seeds. So this is already available in Nigeria. And the avocado. Avocado is my favorite in my program. People know actually I give avocado every day. Reason is it's got protein in it, the good fat, and then also is because we are covering here iron, so it's got also natural iron in it. So if you can have avocado almost every day, I mean during the kind of healing process, I'm not saying rest of your life, that would really help you to feel good and kind of like also have more strength because it's got the good fat and the protein as well as the iron gives you energy. Bananas, as you know, as I told you again, kind of like naturally grown in Nigeria is the best because I can taste the difference when I buy it from supermarket in Nigeria or the local market. There is a completely different taste and flavor, and also you feel stronger when you eat it. Almonds. Basically, almonds are not very common. Again, one of the very expensive nuts in Nigeria, so you can have it has like groundnuts. But the groundnuts, please be careful when you buy it on the street because they are cooking it high heat, and then they are using like an aluminum kind of like a cookware when they do it. It causes oxidization because the nuts, like a peanuts, has got good fat. So when it exposed to the high heat, it will actually cause it will cause oxidization. This is also kind of damaging your cells and your system. What I would advise, we have a way of again roasting it without getting any oxidization and keeping it also completely natural as possible. And this is for groundnut, but if you are eating cashew, and if you are, I don't know what else you can get more available in Nigeria as well, because these are the things I saw. Please have the cashew not roasted, raw as possible. And instead of grapes, you can choose any of the red color. Maybe you have plums in Nigeria, I believe. I've probably seen it. Yeah, because it's like a purple color, it's got more iron. So grapes is not very common in Nigeria, and then you can have plums instead. Tomatoes, you are very lucky because you grow tomatoes and you put it in most of your cooking. And again, how you, by the way, maybe I will tell you a little bit of lycopene. So the lycopene is the one of the nutrients found in cooked tomatoes. But if you cook it like if you boil it over 100 degrees Celsius, then you will lose the nutrients. But if you do the way we teach people, it's about 86 degrees Celsius, you keep up to 93% of the lycopene. And plus it's got iron in it, all the nutrients you can keep up to 93%. So Brussels sprouts, again, is not very common. You can choose any of the other vegetables instead. I believe you have herbs. Could be parsley, could be mint, could be coriander. Anything you are growing, like maybe chives. So this has got also as a herb, natural herb, fresh herb. You can also have it in your diet. I think you already have beets, like a beetroot we call them. As you can see, the color is red. So the most of the things, the color red is also automatically giving you the red color, like the hemoglobin, which is the red color in the red blood cells. So the beetroot has got that as well. So you can either use it as in the smoothie or in your cooking. Spinach. Yeah, spinach is very common. Use it in either raw or in your cooking, but don't cook it more than 2 minutes, basically. And again, if you haven't seen the presentation of healthy cooking system, they will actually explain and show you how you can keep your nutrients intact, and how long you should really cook it for to keep all the nutrients like gonna be available for you for your health to prevent and also reverse. Green peas, I think. Did you have the green peas? Sometimes you do, sometimes I don't know. Here, Lawson, do you have green peas growing in Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. I know
Yes, we
you
have
do.
green peas. We have it.
Okay, excellent.
We have it.
This is actually fresh one. You can get the frozen one if you can't find it like all year round. So the frozen would be okay as well. And this is also packed in kind of like protein and as well as the fiber and the iron as well. So as you can see, Swiss chard is not available probably. It's looking like a cabbage family, I would say. If you have any cabbage, so it will give you
Cabbage.
yeah. This is actually not cabbage, but very similar to cabbage family. So you can have cabbage instead, any kind of cabbage you are doing. And this is again the chia seeds. I know it is as an alternative seed, people actually have it. Some people probably currently have it from the health food shop, and it's probably more expensive than the seeds you grow in Nigeria. And I don't really emphasize people to get the expensive things. Again, it's optional, it's your choice, but this is one of the also options for the iron and protein and the good fat as well, and as well as fiber. And I covered the sunflower seeds before. As you know, all the leaves from the seeds, you can also have them in your cooking. Or if you don't have to cook some of them, you can use it in your smoothie, like spinach, ugu, pumpkin leaf. These are the things you can have it in your salad or in your smoothie as raw as well. Apricots. I think you don't have apricots. Again, do you have apricots? You have different kinds of you have different kinds of fruit, like an orange color maybe, so you can have it, not just oranges. Don't worry about apricots if you don't have it. And the colors is the other one, the vegetable again. So that one, if you don't have it, just you can use any of the other vegetables. Oh, coconut. As you know, I mean, some of you know my program. I use coconut a lot. Even when we don't use oil, I get people to use coconut, like shredded coconut, in the jollof rice, because people like the jollof rice like a creamy, juicy. So that's why we don't really use the fat too much, and we are getting the fat from the coconut meat, which is the inside. And we use it in like as a snack. You can have it with some dates, like what I said. Instead of figs, you can have the dates, maybe coconut meat. This will give you also iron as well, and good fat, and the protein, and the fiber. Pine nuts. Again, all the nuts, if you haven't got it in Nigeria, don't worry about it. You can actually find the alternative. As long as you are getting enough nutrients to prevent yourself and also reverse, that would be really helpful. So these are the some of the things, and we can add this also, beans and lentils in this group. Maybe this is not here as much apart from the green peas. So that's why beans and a lentil group would be okay. By the way, people might be thinking, but the B12 and iron is available in animal products. Why you haven't put any of them on this chart? Reason is because we want people to absorb the iron and folic acid as quick as possible in the blood, but the animal products is not very as much as quickly absorbable as the plant-based iron. That's why we recommend you start with the plant-based, basically. And if you don't know anything about our 30 days program, which is completely plant-based, we are really helping people to do the cellular cleanse instead of just the cleansing or detoxing your organs. This will completely help you to get rid of whatever is not serving you. For example, you are getting rid of excess of the fat, excess of the hormones, excess of the carcinogen, undigested food, and then whatever is like inflammation from your system. That's why once you do this, it is going to help you to have a foundation of health. When you build something on top of it, it will actually prevent and reverse the lifestyle diseases. And plus, after 30 days, quite a lot of people reverse lifestyle diseases within 30 days. They didn't have to do longer. If you want to do something like this, you can actually also contact us on how we can help you with this. And then we also have for the further one, 60 days and 90 days to help you to have it as a lifestyle rest of your life rather than just a one-off. Yeah, this is my presentation, because I have given very short time to do this topic. So if you have any questions, I can cover it before we finish. Wow, I already done longer than I thought.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Thank you so much, Sarah, for the wonderful information you are sharing. I believe that this information is worth hearing and worth hearing again. I know you don't have all the time to share it in details, and that is why we are working together, because Sarah has been part of what we do for over the times, and she's a very good friend of mine, and we have a lot of things we want to bring to Africa. We are really passionate about educating and enlightening families. Some of the things we are sharing here can save you a lot in the future. It can save you a lot in the future if you pay attention to it. And that is why we want you to listen to it and listen to it again. The recording of this is available. You can go to the YouTube channel. It's going to be put on the chat box, by the way. Heal Yourself Africa. you can subscribe and follow us there so that you can listen to this once and once and once again and internalize it. So we're going to be taking some questions, by the way. And if Sarah has been able to touch something that you want to mention, this may not be for you. It may be for someone, you know, someone around you, your family members or whatever. You never can tell, because it's important that we get educated. Prevention is always better, cheaper, and safer than cure. Always, always, always. I know most people don't really pay attention to this information, but they are very key. All right, before we take the questions, I'm going to be bringing on board Miss Chisom Francis Chikwe. She's going to be sharing some information with us in a short while we take the questions. Now, she's I don't want to talk much, but I want us to hear from her, because she has some things I think that we need to hear. Because sometimes why we are bringing her on this call is for us to know that, you know, this thing can happen to anybody. Nobody plans for this, but it can happen to anybody. And if you're not prepared for it, it can actually cost your life. Any blood disease is a very dangerous disease. All right, without any further ado, I want to welcome on the call Miss Chisom Francis Chikwe. Please, can you on your camera? Okay, she's here. Thank you, Ma, for coming on the call. You're mute. Can you unmute yourself, please? Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening.
The stage is yours.
Good evening. Thank you for bringing me up. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to try and make it as brief as possible. I will start with your statement that says prevention is better than cure. You know, I'm a victim of that statement. Okay, so I had some blood issues and I didn't realize I had a problem. Only what I noticed was that I had the very, very, very heavy menstrual flow, you know. So after every period, I feel almost all the symptoms Dr. Serap said. I will have fatigue, shortness of breath, my stool will change, you know, I'll be very tired, you know, and all. So my mom, we tried going to the hospital a couple of times. They said, you know, some of our Nigerian doctors, so they said, maybe it's hormonal. Some people are like that. I will overgrow it. Maybe when I give birth, my hormones will change, you know. So we kept managing it. After every period, my mom will give me ugu. Sometimes I'll drink the water, you know, for me to regain strength, because sometimes it gets really bad. But after some days, I can't do anything. I'll be so tired, you know. So fast forward to after giving birth, late 2021, I started having a tummy pain. I went to the hospital. They said I had appendicitis. Before you could get, I could get any operation done, the doctors wanted to do my full blood profiling to know my status before they can do anything. When they found out that my blood was very, very low and my platelets was like 8%. When the result came out, they screamed. They said it's not compatible with life. That they know someone that had about 21% of platelets, and the girl entered crisis, started bleeding from the nose, eye, everywhere, and she died. They had to use their ambulance and take me to another MICUR, a bigger lab here, for them to be sure that their lab is getting the right result. We got the same result. So they were scared. They said they don't have a hematologist. They immediately discharged me that you go and see a hematologist. Luckily, I saw one. He took my bone marrow sample and did a test, and the man was scared. He was scared. He said my blood was really low and my platelet was almost gone. He had to quickly give me a bone marrow, platelet concentrate. He had to quickly give me that, you know, for me to sustain before they started giving me treatment to boost my bone marrows. And that 6 months I was taking the treatment, which cost me a whole lot. One session of the therapy the man gave me was 1.5 million. And I did it for 6 times. In that six months, as he was doing it, he placed me on strictly seafood, vegetables, and fruits. If possible, I can eat it raw. Like I heard Dr. Sarah say something like that too. So I ate a lot of salad. I had to eat them raw. My ugu almost raw. I could just put it a little. I just bring it out and I start eating with seafood, without oil, with maybe little crayfish to make it tasty a bit. You know, that's what I ate for 6 months. And in 3 months, we could see a very remarkable success. I ate a lot of greens. I heard her also say we have a lot of greens. I even ate garden egg leaf. I'll wash it and eat it raw. Garden egg leaf, I'll eat garden egg, I'll do ugu, water leaf. I did a lot of them, a lot of salad, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower. I ate a lot of them. I'll just steam it a little. I'll eat it maybe with chicken breast. You know, I'll eat it. And I saw a remarkable something. My doctor said I should keep it up. I eliminated beef for me. I should not eat beef at all. I should eat only chicken breast, fish, the seafood generally, snail. That's what I ate for 6 months. So after the treatment, by God's grace, I became fine. My blood level came up. So I now go for checkup every 2 weeks. For now, I go like every month. Everything has been fine because I continued. In as much as now I add a little of other things. I can eat a little rice, but more of salad. Every day, I must eat fruits. I must eat vegetable. In fact, it's a major part of my food. Then a lot of protein, beans. Maybe I could do more and more just to give myself variety, you know, so I don't get tired of the same type of food. But a lot of protein, a lot of vegetables, and it's been good. So, and the doctor said if I knew earlier when I was going to those hospitals and just changed my diet, it wouldn't have gotten to this point. I wouldn't have needed coming to the hospital for any reason. If I had just eaten a lot of vegetables, changed my diet, you know, and no, I could have saved myself a lot of troubles. So that's why I am like, thank God I'm better, but I still eat all those things to maintain my health, and it's been good. And it's been good. Thank you for sharing, for allowing me to share.
Wow. 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 Thank you so much, Miss Chisom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We really appreciate your time coming on this call. All right. Look at what she said. She said each section cost her 1.5 million naira. And she did that for 6 times. I want you to multiply it in your head. 6 times. 6 times. All right. And she had to find herself in a situation where she was fighting with her life. She's a very good friend of mine, and I brought her on this call so that you can hear for yourself. The reason why we are putting this together with that, like she said, if she had known, some of those money would have not been wasted. All right, because she would have done diet modification, which is what we are bringing to you, how you can modify your lifestyle so that you don't need to get to that crisis moment, because it's only God that saved her. All right, because the money, if the money was not there and the access was not there, you know, she may not be able to go into details, but I know the details of the story. So I want you to pay attention to what we are sharing with you today. We are bringing this message to you because we know that it's going to help you out. Now, I'm going to bring Sarah up once again on the call. So there are some few, Mrs. Lawson, is there any question from your end? You are mute.
Oh, okay, yes, sir. I'm trying to compile it. Some people are sending messages directly to me, so I want to compile, so I push it up on the platform.
Okay, so Sarah, or like Ms. Chisom rightly said right now, what are the signs we need to look out for in case if you have not been to hospital? You know, she has mentioned some of them right now, and you also made mention that these things are more likely to happen to women because of their menstrual cycles and all of that.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are the signs one can look out for, even though they've not been to hospital, to detect that they have a shortage of blood?
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, some of the symptoms of it, signs of it, and as I told you, this actually anemia is more in common, like a common in women than men. Reason is because of the heavy menstrual cycle, hormonal changes, and the pregnancy. And because what we heard from the testimonial as well, after the pregnancy, she was hospitalized because she didn't have enough blood anyway in her system. And because she was getting the symptoms even before the pregnancy, the delivery of the baby. So she was telling us like she was feeling tired when she woke up in the morning, really fatigue. Like she also saw the color of color of the stool is really changing as well, pale. And you might have some issues within your digestion, and then concentration as well. Like you can't really concentrate or focus on any of the task, and you will get some aches and pains in your muscles, like a sore feeling. And also what I said, your heart might be a little bit kind of having some issues, could be heart attack, one of the reasons as well. But what I said, why people might get heart attack, because if you don't, heart is pumping blood. So if you don't get the enough red blood cells, which is responsible again for the carrying the oxygen around the cells and the tissue via your heart, and so that if you don't have enough, then the heart can't do the job like its job properly, pumping the blood, enough blood. That will cause the construction. So that construction would cause also heart problem. And other reason could be the short of breath. And again, if you don't have enough red blood cells responsible, again, the causing the anemia, that would also put the pressure in the lungs. So the lung is responsible getting rid of the carbon dioxide, which is a toxic substance from the system. So that can't do the work as well. So these are some of the things you should really look into. And the face can be a little bit pale color, like a yellowish, and even your eye pupils can be a little bit kind of like a not very white, could be a little bit yellowish as well. So these are the signs and the symptoms. And then if you have 2-3 of those, because blood test, is it very difficult for you to get blood test in Nigeria? Is it very expensive?
No, it's not expensive. It's just that, I don't know, because of, most times people are busy in this part of the world. So most times people don't really
They
have
ignore
the
it.
time. Yes, they don't really pay attention to it. That's actually.
Okay, what you said is the cost of your health is gonna be even more if it goes a little bit further. That's why what we are doing here to help people to be aware of the signs and the symptoms, how they can actually monitor themselves with those signs and symptoms. So if you suspect something before any big event happens in your life, go and get your blood test done. I'm not saying everybody should do it. I'm saying the people who have 2-3 of those symptoms already. Reason is because of if you have an operation after in your life, or if you have a problem in your heart, or if you have the pregnancy or some hormonal problems like a heavy menstrual cycle, then that would lead you to have anemia, and it will take longer for you to really kind of heal it, and it will cost you more money. That's why we are helping people to prevent and plus also reverse it before it gets too late.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Sarah. So that's why this platform is on. The reason for this platform, Heal Yourself Africa, is to give you this information and also help you, guide you through. So we have some special packages. All right. For some of you, you may need to see our full demonstration. For some of you, you may need the support system that will bring. Because when it comes to health in the 21st century, believe you me, you can't do it alone. Sometimes people are very busy, and that is why our work is to help you bring that support system that will enable you to get there. All right. So Heal Yourself Africa has some special packages, which we're going to be introducing to you in a short while, and how you can be part of it. So Mrs. Lawson, okay, there's a question here. Mrs. Lawson, are you ready? IT, can you unmute her? You're mute now.
Oh, okay. So I've got some questions. I don't know why they're not sending it to the chat box directly. They're referring it to me. Okay, so Dr. Sarah, thank you so much. So some persons are asking, is there any kind of lifestyle diseases that can reduce the blood, that has potential to shorten the blood? These are the way they put it, but I think they're just trying to ask, are there some lifestyle diseases that actually, reduces a human's blood, or that can cause you to have anemia? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. What I said earlier, if you have high blood pressure, it would also cause the problem like a short of breath, because putting the pressure in the, it's all about the circulation, isn't it? It's responsible with the blood. If you are not carrying enough blood around the cells and the tissue, so unfortunately, you are going to reduce some of the red blood cells. And one of the other reason could be the fibroid people might have, like in women. So this is very common, losing the blood, like a heavy bleeding. So if you have something like that, those women tend to have like anemia later in their life as well. So other thing people might have, like a weak heart problem, like a heart disease. So the heart disease could be from the diabetes. So if you have a diabetes, in the future, you will also have issues in the heart, and also not enough pumping the blood around the body. That could also cause the less red blood cells and causing the anemia. And plus, if you have problem in the stomach as an organ, like a digestion, or maybe in your intestines, and there's some kind of like a celiac diseases, as I told you before. So this would lead you also anemia and hemorrhoid. So it's like a bleeding in your rectum. So like a severe constipation. This would also cause and Crohn's disease. I don't know whether people know about Crohn's disease. Is actually happening in the intestines as well. That is responsible with the blood, losing the blood, and operations or pregnancy, that kind of things. And as I told you, I'm not saying, of course, the prevention is better than cure means whatever I mentioned about what you should really eat to prevent, as long as you are choosing the right type of food to increase the iron and folic acid and the B12 in your system, so you are already gonna be protected, basically. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. Okay, so there's a last question here. We may not be able to take much of the questions, but we can assure you that this program is a continuous program, because we are bringing health to your doorpost. And that is why Heal Yourself Africa is positioned to give you all the services and support you need. All right. We have packages like the 3 days heart reboot. We have 15 days challenge. We have 30 days. We have 60 days, 90 days, depending on the severity of your case and what you are going through. But we want to assure you there's going to be a support for you all through the journey. All right. The last question here before we call it a day is someone is asking, say, thank you so much, Sarah, Dr. Sarah, for the wonderful delivery. Please, I want to ask, what type of food can we give to someone that is suffering from stroke and diabetes in order to restore their health? I know that it is not what we are dealing with today, but if you can just mention one point or the other, then on their next show, we can take on that.
Okay. In general, because this is not going to be very easy and short answer, but I would say diabetes and for example, let's just say about diabetes. Diabetes is actually happens in our cells instead of in our actually pancreas, basically. So what happens, briefly, I'm going to tell you. So when you have too much unwanted fat, which is the toxic fat, let me briefly tell you what they are. So that's why we do the 30 days program to really prepare the body and have the foundation of understanding how you can use the body's response more like a natural way. Basically, when we have too much toxic fats accumulated in the cells, like trillions of the cells, that is causing the insulin resistance. Reason is, if you have too much of it, then when you have the available glucose made in the pancreas, so try to get into the cells because of the toxic fats, which are from the saturated fat, and when you cook the food with oil, that causes the oxidized fat, and also, you know, the margarine or trans fat from the cakes, biscuits, and the chocolate, and the packaging food, I mean. These are the 3 types of the fats gradually accumulate in the trillions of the cells. So now insulin is signaling in the cells, telling the cells to let the glucose get into the cells in order to be used as an energy in the mitochondria. But as long as you have those unwanted toxic fats, this is not going to do the work. So what happens, instead of going inside the cells as an energy, it goes back to the bloodstream again. So when you do this cycle 2-3 times, it stores in the system. So what happens, it causes insulin resistance. That insulin resistance gradually, if you are not preventing or doing anything about it, and when you get your blood test again, blood sugar level, so it will show you either have pre-diabetes or diabetes already. That's why I'm saying, when you remove the unwanted toxic fats, maybe we can cover this in depth in the future if people haven't heard of what they are. So I will go through step by step. And plus other thing, we introduce body high fiber. We introduce body eating more plant-based instead of eating too much animal products. And then we also tell people to choose the food more complex carbohydrate, which is the unprocessed. For example, we tell people eating the brown rice instead of white rice, because white rice is processed, has got more sugar, less fiber, and also less nutrients in it. So yeah, we have people gradually 4 steps. When they follow it, automatically your body can use the glucose, and it will also reverse the diabetes. Again, stroke. One of the symptoms of the diabetes actually, and also the high blood pressure causing stroke. So if somebody has got already high blood pressure, if somebody already have diabetes or cholesterol or any of the 2, they are likely to get stroke in their life. But as you know, stroke actually happens maybe suddenly, but doesn't the symptoms doesn't actually happen over the night. It's a gradual build-up. So if you monitor yourself, seeing yourself, you have 2 of the 3 of those lifestyle diseases, you are more likely to get stroke. And again, what we do for people, we help people to reverse those lifestyle diseases before they get the stroke. Unfortunately, when people get the stroke, it takes much longer to really come back to normal. They will do it, but they will still lose some of their abilities, basically. That's why our platform, we always have people to raise the awareness of the symptoms and signs and how we can help you prevent, even reverse those lifestyle diseases before you have any operations, any of the, you know, like a long-term lifestyle diseases to deal with. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. Please,
You're welcome.
if Sarah has spoken something that gets to you, please, as we round up, I want you to go to the chat box and just show her some love. And she's been very resourceful tonight. Thank you so much, Sarah, for coming on this call. Once again, I want you to know that we are here to carry you on this journey. We want to enlighten Africa. We want Africa to know that the body has the capacity to heal itself. It is the environment that you create for the body that the body is going to use. And that is why Heal Yourself Africa has set up a platform like this to encourage people to understand the food they eat, understand their environments. Serap came from a background. She was not able to share her background of health. Some of us who are on the platform have a background. We didn't just come into it. We came in here to make a change and make a difference in the lives of people. So please go to the YouTube page and subscribe to Heal Yourself Africa. We're bringing in Serap again, and other doctors and nutritionists are going to be coming on this platform where we'll share even more information on thyroid disease, high blood pressure, and we're going to deal with it on details. So the first point is that you have witnessed what we're talking about. We now want you to experience it. So please, we're going to be reaching out to you for you to join some of our programs, our 30 days challenge, our 60 days challenge, depending on the severity of your case. But we're going to show you that we have live testimonies of even people whose menstrual period were not regular. By the time they did our program, they began to see their menstrual period being more regular. So that is the power of food in correcting lifestyle. And that's what we're presenting to you. And in this platform, we're also going to be recommending to you some documentaries you're going to watch for yourself to see some of the conspiracies that they may not want you to know about health, but we are giving you this information so you can make the right decision for yourself. Once again, because of time, I want to thank you, Sarah, for being on this call. Thank you, all the team, Mrs. Lawson. Thank you, the IT guy, and Joy, for putting this together. And I want to commend all of you who have stayed all through this journey to this point. It's going to be a regular thing, and we're going to be inviting you again on this call. Thank you so much for being on the call today. And as we round up, I want to thank you once again. Please do well to follow us for more details. The recording of this program will be there live. You can listen to it once and once again. Thank you so much for being on the call. Thank you, Ruth Emmanuel. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Thank you, Mr. Desaya. Thank you, Professor Modesta. Thank you so much, Temitope. Thank you, Kolawole. Thank you, Chisom. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so much, everybody. See you. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a great evening. Bye.
Thank you, Sarah. We love
All right,
you.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
so
everybody,
much.
for coming.
Yeah. Bye.